digitizing our signal, enabling mimetic filters, reticulating our splines. And it seems like we are go. Hello there, Site 42 staff. Welcome to another edition of Dr. Sherman's Office Hours. Another day, another grilling. I'm here to answer your SCP Foundation questions. Make sure that you can be the best Foundation researchers you can be. Now I'm seeing Silent Follower, Ansan, Patchware Alex Rosie. Thank you all for being members, and welcome to today's chat in particular. Kazia Matt, nice to see you. You may recognize that tune if you were a fan of Disney animation of a certain Alex Hirsch. If you're familiar with that realm of Disney animation, you would be quite familiar with that song I was humming at the beginning of the stream. Leah, good to see you. Bismuth, bonjour. Clone 378, good to see you and thank you for being a member. When the falls are affected by gravity, it's such a dire situation. Robin St. Pierre, thank you for your first donation to today's stream and for being the first donor. Make sure to grab yourself a delicious steak dinner at the commissary on your way past. Does the Church of the Broken God praise the Omnissiah? Do they evolve into the cult Mechanicum and later into the Adeptus Mechanicus? Well, as a starting position, I'm not familiar with the Omnissiah. Is this one of their things, or does this move out? Okay, yes. That's what I was wondering. You're going into, once again, the world of Warhammer 40k. Does that also include the Cult Mechanicum? Well, Cult Mechanicus is what this says, but, yes. So all of these are different machine god religions. I would like to think that they're not the same, but it's sort of a parallel universe version of each other. It's basically the same thing. It's just, you know, one universe or the other. One canon or the other. Vodka Cat, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some bacon-flavored vodka on your way past the commissary. Hey, how's it going, man? It's going well. We're having a good day. Having a bit of a sinus issue. It's going around site. We're not exactly sure what's going on, but everyone's got one nostril that hurts more than the other today. I haven't noticed anything weird going on, but if you guys see anything, you could let me know. Lana the Therian, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a jelly donut on your way past the commissary. Leuna, thank you for being a member and good to see you in the chat. You had a weird test today. You didn't recognize the bodies, but you did recognize the water. No, that's perfect. Recognizing the water is fine. Recognizing the bodies is bad. That's not weird. That's a passing grade. Congratulations. Could be a throat issue or nose issue. Got strep recently in Texas. I'm sorry to hear that, Dr. Talat. I hope that's not what's going around the site. That could be worse. Sheeny, nice to see you. Thank you for being a member. And, you know, allergies would be nice, but it's that usually allergies are all the way up here, but everyone specifically is complaining about one side of their nose hurting a lot. I'm touching the fine side for me because it's this side that's very angry. So I'm not touching that side. But something's going on. We're going to figure it out. Zenaria, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some cactus juice on your way past the commissary. Sherman, would I count as an anomaly? Well, I don't know. Are you anomalous in some way? You're going to need to tell me more because I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with your user handle and your status here at the Foundation. Clone, good to see you in the chat. Thank you for being a member as well as your first donation to today's stream. Popping in during a slow spell at work, hoping everyone's having a good day. Well, grab some coffee from the commissary to help your work day get by quicker. And, yeah, we're doing good so far, barring everyone having one sore nostril for some reason. Hopefully we figure this out soon. Cactus juice, why? Why does the Foundation have them? Lovely little Rose, cactus juice is a delicious beverage. I don't know if you've tried it or not, but it is quite tasty. And our commissary is well stocked. They have a little bit of everything, so you can get a little bit of everything. Oh, the dramatic music is being very dramatic. Let's tone that down a hair. Onyx, good to see you in the chat, and thank you for being a member. Hello. And hello to 999 as well, if that's who you're hanging out with. Dr. Sherman, what's your favorite color? Well, Star, I have a couple favorite colors. I'm not one to pick one thing most of the time. That's why I have 8 favorite SCPs. So I got to go with mint green. It is the color I use for Site 42 in general because it's one of my top tier favorite colors. Yellow and gold are both favorites of mine because, you know, it's Leo behavior, I understand. And although I don't believe in horoscopes and astrology generally, I am such a Leo. And so we'll just deal with that as we may. Anyways. Robin, thank you for donating again. Fuck around and find out 729-. It's always you. It's always you that brings up that thing. What is your obsession with that monstrosity? Honestly. Just why? Test it with 049? Everyone has the same opinion of the thing. We all hate the thing. Everyone knows. We all hate the thing. No one likes the thing. He said, going to check if anyone actually likes the thing. Did we test it with 049 in here? Data expunge with 682. Abel tried to destroy it with a flamethrower, which did nothing to it. So I'm glad Abel has the right idea. We did test 049 with it. And let me tell you what it says here. When exposed to SCP-729-. When exposed to that thing, 049 appeared to stagger, grasping its head with its hand and falling to its knees, stating, "The pestilence, it's too strong." SCP-049 then attempted to crawl towards that thing, vocalizing, "I must cure you," but fell to the ground and fell unconscious. So we've already done this test. You didn't need to... You could have just looked at the document. You didn't need to expose me to this hazard when you could just look at the document. If you guys read the database, you would be a lot smarter about SCPs. You wouldn't need so many office hours from me. I'm just saying. You'd think the Foundation would hire people who know how to read. It would be nice anyways. Rosie, thank you for your first donation of today's stream, as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a delicious can of lemon drink on your way past the commissary. Hello, doctor. I hope you have a good day. Well, so far not so good, but we'll see how it goes. Unfortunately, recent tests have shown I possess anomalous qualities. Do I still get to do my research? Well, when Foundation researchers are declared to be anomalous, which happens more often than we would like, you have to go through a vetting process. And so we're going to have to contain you for a little while. We'll do some interviews. We'll see if we can remove the anomaly. That would be best. Especially if it's an anomaly that is detrimental to your well-being. And if we can't, we will try to figure out how to live with it and if you can still work with anomalies and do your research. So for now, medical is headed your way. We'll sort it out. Zenaria, thank you for donating again. I mean, my PFP is a fallen angel. Also translate my name. So yeah, I'm probably an anomaly. Well, I mean, I can't really tell what your profile picture is. It's a little red-haired thing. But, you know, profile pictures on the YouTube app are very small, so it's very difficult for me to see what you've got going on here. And I don't know what your name means, so I guess I can translate it. Seems to be an alien species of some sort. You know, I highly doubt that an alien species infiltrating the Foundation would just make their username the name of their species. That seems a little suspicious. I'm starting to think you might be pulling my leg a little bit. Robin, thank you for donating again. Try cross-testing 3125 and I'm not falling for it again. I'm not. 3125, you want us to test an ultimate crazy anti-memetic thing against that? Honestly, I wouldn't submit my worst enemy to that, so no. Just no. Doc Sherman, if the GOC wants to get rid of the SCPs and the SCP Foundation wants to contain them, why don't they work together? Well, look at the Sixpenny. Look at the sentence you just posted. The GOC wants to get rid of anomalies, as in they want to destroy them. And that is against our protocol, because our protocol at the Foundation, you know, secure, contain, protect. These things we do so that we can hide anomalies from the general public, but we can still research them, study them, improve our science. We can't do that if we destroy the anomalies. And so, that goes counter to what the Global Occult Coalition wants to do. It's not the same mission. So with that in mind, I mean, they yell at us all the time. They call us irresponsible because we won't destroy the world-ending anomaly. And we end up letting it loose and killing most of our staff members and also the general public. But, you know, they're just weenies. They're just wimps. They don't understand the importance of the science we do. So no, we'll work with them if we need to, but not willingly. Oh my. Tainted Asau, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well. Nope, just that. Make sure to grab yourself a bottle of perfectly pH balanced water on your way past the commissary. Who would win 939 or 6448? Well, I know what 939 is, but I don't know what 6448 is. So we have big dogs that hunt and can change their voices versus the not a deer, right? The not a deer. Legs bent backwards, barrel-chested, bloated abdomen, emaciation, forward-fitting eyes. Instances, so multiple instances. So it is dogs versus not deer. Ignore it. Okay, so you have to ignore it, which the 939 would not do. Likely. I mean, maybe they're smart enough to understand that, but... Did we ever destroy one of these? Detained and captured an instance. Left it unconscious. Interviewing it. Okay, and I believe since one mobile task force was able to detain an instance of 6448, and we know that one instance of 939 can very often take out a mobile task force in the right circumstance. I believe that means 939s are a little more powerful if it were instance to instance. But I would need to do more research. This is just a cursory glance. Silent follower, thank you for donating again. Is this your first donation of the stream or donating again? First donation of today's stream, so make sure to grab yourself a candied apple on your way past the commissary. I just exist, not sure how I'm still here in the Foundation. Well, many conceptual anomalies and also researchers who got turned into conceptual anomalies just kind of float around, existing but not doing much, like spiritual jellyfish. And so maybe that's you. Maybe that's you. Zenaria, thank you for donating again. It's Hausa, by the way, and I'm not pulling your leg. Do you mean that Zenaria is your username, but I should call you Hausa? I'll try to remember that. It's just that you have a username, and that's what I'm going to see first. So I'll try to remember that, but I'll do my best. And if you're not pulling my leg, then you're going to have to go into a containment box while we figure out what your deal is. I don't know what the LaGuardia universe is where these Zenaria supposedly come from. Seeing a lot of weird things here. Hausa pronunciation. Edit Zenaria. What? Standard Kano Hausa. Now I really don't know what's going on with this. Alternative form of Zenari. IPA. International Phonetic Alphabet. All right, I am just a stupid American, and when we start getting into other languages and pronunciations, I get lost. So I apologize in advance for the amount of ways. Oh, the word Zenaria means gold in Hausa. Thank you, Twitter.com, for answering a question I needed as I needed it without having anything crazy going on. Bless you. Okay. Unfortunately, Google could not do the job, explain to me what was going on. Well, I like gold. We already talked about that today. Micaiah and Reaper Kills and Void. Thank you all for subscribing to Site42. Welcome to our staff. All right, so yes, Zenaria, aliens go in containment, so I hope you enjoy lockdown. American Muscle Car Club, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some brake fluid on your way past the commissary. We are prepared to pay $10 billion for SCP-049 now. That would put a solid dent in our budget shortfall. Now, right now, 049 is conscripted to the Mobile Task Force, so I don't have authorization to break that bond as of now. You saw nothing. So I will need to, I'll need to discuss this with 049, the Mobile Task Force, and otherwise. So I'll have to get back to you on that particular offer. That is a good chunk of change. Oh gosh, I have real catching up to do. Oh my. Why not? Thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some condiments, I guess, on your way past the commissary, because you ate another Bible with no condiment. How did you print one? Is that what you're doing? And why? Do you just like... I can't believe you're making me say this. Do you just like being eaten by Vorjesus? Does Vorjesus's mastication of you entertain you in some way that you're going to do it multiple times? Or is the theme park in its stomach just that much fun? Is that what it is? You just wanted to go back to Jesus Land. You forgot to buy a souvenir last time. Well, listen, Your relationship with SCP-5991 is creeping me out, and so please just stop. Just stop. Robin, thank you for donating again. Cross-testing with 3125 would be a good way to get rid of the thing. I'm going to contact Dr. Wheeler. Also, take your nest sticks. Well, I would like to get rid of the thing. So, if you think that'll work, submit it to my desk, and I'll do the paperwork. I don't know, 3125 on the database has a punch code, and I don't know the number to it, so I have not gotten to check that out as much as I would like to. Leuna, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself some grits on your way past the commissary. Philosopher cheese on woods test. Hardwood makes soft cheese, and softwood makes hard cheese. I'm actually quite surprised by that. I would have... Usually it's very close to the quality, so I would imagine that soft cheese would be soft wood, but, that's an interesting conundrum. SCP Eyes in the Dark, thank you for your 2 donations, one of which is retracted, one of which is sorry about that. Whatever it was, I accept your apology, I guess. Also, grab yourself some Tootsie Rolls on your way past the commissary. Dihydrogen monoxide, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some, let's say some Crystal Light on your way past the commissary. If you take a picture with 096's face in infrared or any other non-visible light spectrum, would it still trigger him? Considering the way the 4 fucking pixels works, yes, I believe it would. I believe it would still activate, but that's just a guess. Jack, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger on your way past the commissary. What's that outside? It's not SCP-10-J, right? Well, let me... I gotta follow the proper protocols here. Listen. If there is a Keter outside of your office right now, I don't see it. I don't see any Keter. I think it's safe. And so all you gotta do is just stay put just in case. We'll send security and we will see what's outside your office. Be careful. Silent Follower, thank you for donating again. Spiritual jellyfish, yeah, if you're just kind of hanging around, if you're not doing much, if you're chilling, just kind of jellyfish around, man. If that's how you're vibing, I'm not going to say it's a problem. SCP-087-J. It looks like you have the same username as that previous user. Maybe you changed it. Hello, and I hope you're doing well. Is that the same user? Is it just change? I'm not sure how user works on YouTube work like that, because I do not, yeah, there we go. Because I don't change my username. That would be bad for Site42 to be found. So, hello there. Clone, thank you for donating again. I know we've all asked how would the Foundation contain X, but what about inverse? How do you think Site42 would handle being sent into 40K? Well, here's the thing. Site42, as it is just one site of the greater Foundation. We have, severely impacted resources right now, thanks to the budget cuts and the betrayal of the defector, Dr. Moon Moon. And so, we're limping along as it is. And if we were transported into a universe that far in the future, that far away from Earth, with giant armies of different kinds using crazy power armor and magical effects and belief issues, then I feel like, guess I'll die. We don't have a lot to hold up against that, really. Deanactive, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some citric acid on your way past the commissary. The hypercube's still in the hall. Can we move it? Listen, security knows about the hypercube. You just have to stay away from it so it doesn't take you to the 5th dimension. They will move it when they get there. Patience. Patience. I know you've been waiting all morning, but patience, okay? It's a delicate situation. Robin, thank you for donating again. Director, code for the file is 55s. Read it at your own risk and peril and keep the antimemetic / maximum erasure device handy. You'll need it. Roger that. I'll keep that in mind. Although, not having the code and then being given the code is kind of a dangerous thing here in the Foundation, so maybe I don't want to deal with that. Darkness Syndicate, you're saying the Yule Man appeared at your mother's cabin? I'm very sorry to hear that. I hope, well, you're not really going to get to bury her cleanly. No open casket funeral for that one. So I hope you have a good cremation, guy. And I'm sorry for your loss. Origami. I remember your little short story, and because the powers aren't clear and because you haven't written the whole story, I can't really say a lot about containment. You need to be more, you need to fill out the story, man. You got to write that thing. Then we can talk about what it actually is. But I can't work off incomplete information, you know. SCP-087-J, thank you for donating again. I'm outside your office. A stairwell is outside my office? Isn't the 087-J just the stairwell, but weirder? Oh, we actually don't have one. I'm a little surprised we don't have a joke about falling down the stairs infinitely. I would have expected someone to make that one. Okay. Well then, whatever you are, good thing my office is sealed for the duration of these office hours. Hopefully you get bored and leave before that ends. Jack, thank you for donating again. Oh, God. Well, I guess it got him. Didn't wait until security got there. That's a terrible crime. Or maybe did. Maybe did, and it was just a bad idea. Either way at the Foundation sometimes. Either way at the Foundation. The Jade Necromancer. Thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some sticky rice on your way past the commissary. What school is known to travel and kidnap Pokemon? A school? I mean, I know Team Rocket travels and kidnaps Pokemon. That's pretty straightforward. And so the other team, I mean, there's a lot of teams in Pokemon that steal Pokemon. Team Rocket alternatives. So the question becomes, are any of them a school? There's not a good way to, I wish there was a wiki that was just like, here's the list of other Team Rockets, like Team Skull or something. But there isn't. So unfortunately, I do not have a quick way to find that information. I mean, I don't know about a school doing that, but I mean, hey, if Pokemon had existed in our universe, we'd contain them too, so there's us. Silent Follower, thank you for donating again. The Moral Support Jellyfish. Hey, if that makes people feel more chill, it makes things a little saner around here, more power to you. Dihydrogen monoxide, thank you for donating again. What happens if you sense SCP-4666's presence before the 10th night, say on the 8th or 9th when the adults start to notice, and GTFO? You know, I do declare that if someone were clever enough to get out, I do believe they could escape. But I would need to look into that, because it is also possible that 4666 might follow you. And I can very quickly check that by going to Series 5 on the list, seeing the tails, going to 4666, and there are 3 SCP Tales for Yule Man. Bring Me Flesh, Sell Clickbait Profit, and Yule Time for the Yule Man. Now, sell, clickbait, profit is an advertisement, or no, is a foreword from the foundation where we tell people how to defend themselves from 4666. And you see shooting the Yule Man is an option, we say. Sending your kids south of the line for the week. It says that sending your kids away for the week will save them. So if this email is to be believed, then the Yule Man can be thwarted if you notice it early enough. So that's not a bad thing to keep track of. Do-do-do. Do-do-do. What? Interesting. I might tell you about that in a minute if I hear more. But first, let me come back here to the chat. Lorna Varney, I have an anomalous item. Well, I very hope that you have it properly logged in the log of anomalous items. It is important we keep track of these things. Forever Midnight, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a ho-ho on your way past the commissary. Hi, I'm back. Has the tree screamed yet? No. Just no. The tree hasn't screamed yet. All tests have failed, but we're getting better. We're learning, and you have to have optimism in these dark times. And so one step at a time, we are going to make it scream. We're going to find a way. It's like trying to learn what 055 is. You keep telling people what 055 is, and eventually you figure out what it is. You keep doing tests on the tree, and eventually one of them's going to work. One of them has got to work. So, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Inactive, thank you for donating again. It's in the way of the break room. I can't make tea. Oh, that's unfortunate. Don't you have a mini fridge in your office? Can't you just grab an iced tea for now to hold you over? I mean, tea is not as important as not being thrown into the fifth dimension, if I remember correctly. But I mean, that's just priorities. Oh, never heard of that. What is that? Apparently, 2 days ago, there is a new SCP live action short film called The Corpse. SCP The Corpse by Crawford Films. Friend of the channel, Emotional Entropy, just shared that information with me. I've not seen this, obviously. I'm learning this for the first time, and I'm telling you for the first time. I can't recommend it because I haven't seen it or anything, but we will add it to the list of SCP live-action films to react to. That way I can check it out and tell you guys if it's good. Interesting. SCP-087-J, thank you for donating again. You're just the eyes from the stairwell? Well, you know, the eyes as well as the bridge of the nose and the nose, which are also visible, I think you mean, correct? Zenaria, thank you for donating again. Combine Fallen Angel and Gold plus I'm not an alien? I mean, technically, if you're from another world, you are already an alien. But I'm confused because the definition of Zenaria, when I look it up, is a race of aliens. That is the first thing that comes up. It's an alien species. So, you're giving me contrary information to what I already have in the database. It's a little confusing, but fallen angels are pretty easy to contain. We have all sorts of thaumaturgy and religious rituals for that, so I'm actually not so worried about that. Why not use the cloning tree for infinite D classes? Well, Voidless Researcher, I believe I know which anomaly you're talking about. Cloning tree. So that one's that. But there's a second cloning tree later on as well. Nope. Let me look in my database of anomalies. Nope, I need to go to the proper playlist. Right. Ah. Content. Playlists. Great skip dictations. Videos. Which one the tree that makes you clone other people? Is it 7254? SCP-7254? No, that's a demon of some kind. Okay, wrong one. Let's keep looking. Touchgrass, microbes, fight, baby, American Gothic. 6578. That sounds promising. 6578. Yeah, it's the ranch with the tree that clones people. So, with that in mind, we don't use 038 for that because checking the database. Growing things other than apples, and in fact, other than fruit. Clone any object that touches its bark. Objects begin growing almost instantaneously and reach maturity within a matter of minutes. The weight limit of 200 pounds per object has been previously recorded. 038 has included cloning apples, oranges, watermelons, eggplants, candy bars, snack foods, television, toasters, laptops, keys, chairs, wine, DVDs, CDs, cats, dogs, and people. Human and animal cloning through 038 is not recommended as they appear to age quickly. The majority of these clones live on average 2 weeks. After thorough examination of the deceased clones, it had been determined that they had begun to ferment after death. So, they exist, but they are very unpredictable. I mean, they're literally fermenting. So we can't throw an unpredictable living anomaly in with the other SCPs. That's just a recipe for disaster. Desk, good to see you in the chat. Mon ami, welcome to the stream. Zero, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a strudel on your way past the commissary. You should contain Brock Sampson. Dude is a beast. Isn't Doc Sampson just a dude? Does Brock Sampson have any anomalous abilities? I'm pretty sure he's just a guy, right? Abilities. Near superhuman strength, ability to endure almost any kind of physical punishment. During surgery, remove a bullet from his shoulder. His body is discovered to harbor 3 additional bullets, a blowgun dart, 2 shark's teeth, the tip of a bayonet, a twisted paper clip, and a meager handful of buckshot. Desk, this a friend of yours? Ability to endure pain is matched by ability to inflict it. Vehicles. Yeah, no. This is just a dude. A very talented dude, but just a dude. My thought process is maybe he'd be the kind of guy we'd hire to lead a team if he were not a, what's the phrase I'm looking for? An agent for hire who worked for someone already. I'm sure that we would recruit him if we had the opportunity, but I don't see us containing him. Would the Serpent Hand be an SCP? Before you say no, remember they have magic. Well, Director, thank you for being a member first and foremost. No, they're not an SCP because they're instead a group of interest, or a GOI. An SCP is a singular anomaly or a related group of anomalies that is contained by the Foundation, given an SCP designation, and contained. The Serpent's Hand are a group of interest. They are a bunch of different anomalies, anomalous humanoids, anomalous entities. They work together. They live in that Wanderer's library. They are not contained at all. And so, yeah, they're not, each individual person, if we contain them, would be an SCP. But as a whole, it's a group of interest. It's a different thing. Pix, thank you for becoming a Site 42 subscriber. Welcome to staff. SCP fan, I have a musical tomorrow. Please wish me and the rest of the cast good luck. I'm absolutely not risking wishing you good luck. You are in the theater. You know the rules. So I'm going to wish you all broken legs, because that is how we theater people do it. Stay safe up there. Don't do any silly business that'll get you caught. Brock can literally tell when someone is in his car from another country. That's a legitimate superpower. Have you considered that maybe there's just a camera or a sensor or something? That's child's play. Child's play. I don't believe it. Zero. That's called being a man. Thank you, desk. Would the Global Occult Coalition or Serpent's Hand have more benefits? Interesting question. So the GOC is basically an alternate version of the Foundation with slightly different rules. And so the benefits between the Foundation and the Coalition would be comparable. Meanwhile, the Serpent's Hand has a lot more magic-y things going for it. So I think... And, you know, they have an infinite library of infinite all the knowledge in all the universes. So I think probably the Serpent's Hand is going to eke it out. My green-furred friend GT Cole is being contained for his powers. Well, if it has powers, it should be contained. So I'm glad everything's going according to plan. Do you start the pen trick between your middle and ring finger, or your pointer and your middle finger? Random Fandom, first of all, thank you for being a member. And very specifically, when I do it with my right hand, I always start in writing position, and then I move the pen from there. So I start there and move it to there to start. That way, anytime I want to stop and start writing, I can just catch it and click it. Because when you start in that position, every time the pen comes round, it'll end up in writing position again. So I like that just so I can be like, all right, time to write, let's go. On the other hand, it doesn't matter as much because I don't write left-handed, but I still do it just so I can click it when it gets to the right part. I was inspired to learn pen spinning by Boris in the James Bond movie GoldenEye. And so he's always clicking and spinning and clicking and spinning. And so when I was inspired to learn myself, that is the inspiration I had that caused me to learn it the way I do. Resetting the chat to the bottom. What would happen if you stick a photo of SCP-096 on 173's face? What do you think happens? What do you think happens? I want you, Rotary, to tell me what you think happens if you put a picture of 096's face on 173. What do you think? Is that a hypothetical that you can walk through on your own? Is that something that you need a senior researcher at the Foundation to tell you is a bad idea? Just, ooh, bad idea. Right there. Come on. Come on, son. Come on, son. Charlie 10 Pro, thank you for your first donation to the Site 42 cause. Make sure to grab yourself a banana pudding on your way past the commissary. How do you get a job interview at the foundation? Well, first and foremost, logically speaking, you already work for the foundation. Otherwise, you would not be in this chat. This chat is selectively only broadcast to the back-end YouTube accounts of foundation employees. So, you already work here. You had your interview. How did you get it? But barring that, in a hypothetical sense, you must at first be the best of the best of the best in your current field. Because even down to the janitors, our janitors have to be hardcore. That way they can deal with the messes that come from containment breaches and testing failures. And so, you remember in the game Control, their fellow janitor, who also happens to be some sort of thing? That's the kind of janitors we want at the foundation. They don't necessarily need to be anomalous, but they do need to be the best of the best of the best, sir. So once that happens, they don't know about the foundation, but we call on them, and we make sure they get hired. Do do do. Do do do. Dr. Jones. I just made myself a wonderful green drink. Definitely not anomalous. Also, ever thought about having children? Oh wait, forgot you already have around 1 million kids, Dad. I am your senior researcher. Calling me Dad or Father is inappropriate for your position as Foundation staff. SCP-087-J, thank you for donating again. Hey, security's here. Did you call them? What do you think? There is an anomaly outside my door. I'm making sure to check. What would happen if someone microwaves SCP-999? Not like I would try it or something. Trust. Well, you see, if someone attempted to put SCP-999 in a microwave, the first problem would be the size of SCP-999. Remember, SCP-999 is 2 meters by 1 meter. It is a large chunk of slime. It's not fitting in a blender. It's not fitting in a microwave. Everyone always thinks it's so small, but it's not. It's a huge chunk of slime. And so yes, it acts nice. It acts like a little puppy, but it's also big. It's not gonna fit in the microwave. It's not gonna fit in the blender. Plus, I taught it how to use firearms. So if it sees you trying, you're gonna get got. Rook, so how's life, man? The budget cuts have been tough, but we're working hard here at the Foundation to make up for it. Site 42 is going to persevere. It's been a rough couple of months. Actually, geez, it's only been a couple of weeks, honestly. But we are working hard to test our anomalies, to find our value and present it to the overseers so they give us the budget to keep the doors open. I will make sure you all keep your jobs. I promise you that. You are not going to be laid off. You are fine. I am your site director. I will handle this situation. Hey, Dr. Sherman, this is the new hire, Dr. Jackson. Which SCP am I being assigned to? Well, Dr. Jackson, let me pull up the duty roster and see where you are slotted. Dr. Jackson. No, that's Dr. T. Jackson. All right, Dr. Jackson, it looks like you are being set to do work on SCP-1637, the Army of the Future, Object Class Euclid. So head on over there and get to work. 087-J, thank you for donating again. Just got done dealing with them. That was rude. Well, yes, it was very rude of you to breach security and hang out outside my office, so I'm glad that you have went with them back to your stairwell and that you will stay there. Dr. Sherman, does SCP believe in God? Well, Bomber, I gotta say, it's hard to not believe in God when you've talked to 19 different iterations of it. Not even counting 343, who claims to be God. But, you know, we're containing 4 different Jesuses, or Jezi, I guess. We have Uber driver Jesus, bread Jesus, vor Jesus, and milk Jesus, otherwise known as Jesus. So there are 4 different Jesuses here. Beyond the Jezi, we also have the different angels, like the corn angel. I believe it's maize angel, actually. Angel. We have 1846, the maize angel, and the maize angel is being raptured as we speak, which means that there is a maize god up there rapturing it. And so we have to not let the maize angel get raptured, otherwise apparently it's the end of the world due to the popcorn god. So, you know, there's so many gods, and it's kind of funny watching all of the world religions argue with each other when we have the proof. We're just not telling them because then they'd actually try to sacrifice people to their corn god. Ugh. People are ridiculous. That's what I've got to say about that. Gebuche, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some Cool Whip on your way past the commissary. Hey, have you ever heard of SBJ question mark question mark dash question mark question mark question mark question mark? I have not at all heard of that. I'll take a cursory look on the database. SBJ dash bleh dash bleh 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 bleh. You're not talking about the Sports Business Journal, are you? Because that's what comes up when I type that in. Nope. I have got no clue what you're talking about, unfortunately. I get the Sports Business Journal, and I get the SBJ Capital Private Investment Firm. I doubt you're talking about either of those. #087-J, thank you for donating again. They're currently laying outside knocked out. Well, I understand you were very uncooperative being shoved back into your stairwell, so I hope you think about what you've done hurting those innocent security guards by being such a jerk. Now stay put. Oh, you're the guy that did the Linux videos. That is correct, Fantasticaneer. We did do the Linux Mutual videos about a year and a half ago now. I've been meaning to get back to that because I enjoyed it and it was fun to do on the channel. I was having fun with the puzzles. Unfortunately, things have gotten horrendously busy in the last year. If you go to Site42 Twitter, you will see a tweet from last year saying how horrible things are going and that I have to focus on Site42 and not outside projects for a while. And that just hasn't stopped for a year and change now. So I'm a little on edge, if you haven't noticed. But we're doing fine. One step at a time. The world is safe because we're working. We secure, we contain, we protect, and we don't worry about it. We just do our jobs, and we win. Dr. Sherman, a D-class drank a random fluid from the coffee machine and now he's glowing. Please send over some security because it's scaring me. Okay. Jetstream Sam. You are in a precarious situation. And I'm sorry to say, desk, good reference. Good reference. I understand what you're saying, Jetstream, and I'm going to give you the solution you need because security is not going to be there in time to handle what you're working on. I need you to find all the spoons you can in that break room. All the spoons you can in that particular break room. And I need you to put them in your butt. Because SCP 7052 is, God, we don't want people doing this. It's a bad idea. 7052 is the practice of inserting spoons in your rectum. At which point, if you get enough spoons, you get powers. Now, I don't want people doing this. Don't do this if you're not in a dire situation. Please, out of characters, don't do this for real. This is all a joke. Please don't make me regret joking like this with you guys. When you put let's see, how many spoons? If you put 1 spoon in your keister, you become more sexually attractive to people based on your sexual orientation. So it's always people you're attracted to become more attractive to you if you've got 1 spoon in your butt. If you put 2 spoons in, you get improved physical and mental faculties. If you do 3, you are suddenly capable of healing wounds, infections, and carcinomas. 4 spoons, and you end up with various ontokinetic effects that result in the enhancement of luck in SCP-7052's life, such as higher probability of winning lotteries and other chance-based competitions. And so do not do this unless necessary, because we do not need a bunch of spoon-based reality benders running around. But Jetstream, if you are in that bad of a situation, you need to do what you need to do to survive, and then take the spoons out, please. SCP-087-J, thank you for donating again. I didn't do harm, my cognitive effect got to them. Yes, but you're the one who left your place of containment, causing them to be affected by your cognitive effect in the first place. It's cause and effect. What are you missing about this? Be more careful and considerate of the security personnel. Amy, if you say coffee is bad, am I being rude to all SCP people? I mean, not all SCP people drink coffee. Some of them just inject it into their veins. So I guess if you don't like the flavor, you could just and be set. That's your preference. I'm not going to yuck your yum there. Or you're not yum, since you're not tasting it, in fact. Dr. Jackson, yes, I clarified that you're not Dr. T. Jackson. And that's why I was able to discover you're assigned to 1637. Dr. T. Jackson was assigned to another anomaly. Star Scourge Rodon, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some kindling on your way past the commissary. What would the Foundation do for the Frenzied Flame? I believe I've heard of this anomaly before, but let me look up some details just in case. A force that manifests in the eyes of those stricken by maddening grief and suffering. It is feared by many for its uncanny ability to destroy individuality, capable of melting away even eternal spirits. Those deeply stricken by its folly develop an insatiable need to spread its influence further, willingly seeking to infect others with it. These patients are known by some as chaos followers, yearn for the arrival of their lord, so that they may incinerate all that divides and distinguishes. Okay, so this is a little bit hive mind, a little bit infectious, and with the goal of destroying all so that all can be one in nothing. Wonderful. So the main goal would be to obliterate in term enough entities that we can contain one for testing. But it looks like the old ultraviolence is the first thing we got to do so that there's enough culled that we could overpower them. Then the science begins. Sean, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Why don't you grab yourself a pack of fried gold on your way past the commissary? Dr. Sherman, can you look up Michigan Blue Hell and tell us your thoughts? It's similar though distinct from the back rooms. Also, just reminding you I exist. Happy Wednesday. Well, happy Wednesday to you too, Sean. It is good that you exist in the world. And Michigan Blue Hell. That is a thing I'm not familiar with at all. Michigan Blue Hell. Michigan Blue Hell is an urban legend which posits that somewhere in the state's extensive underground tunnel system, there's a passage out of reality itself. The phenomena is named for the blue hell glitch found in video games, which occurs when clipping doesn't function correctly, causing the player avatar to appear outside the game map with the skeleton of buildings and environments visible yet unreachable. There are a few reports of blue hell itself, and it is believed that by many that if one enters blue hell, they can never return to normal reality. Some believe that if one were to enter, they would die. Others that it allows you to observe the world without being seen, as if trapped behind a one-way mirror, hence the video game comparisons. It is known to possibly be located beneath Lake Erie, in a military base, or in a nondescript abandoned building, all the easier to accidentally find it. So I've never heard of this before, but it is certainly giving me backrooms vibes. I'm sure you're not surprised by me saying that. Any sort of anomaly that's going to take you out of consensus reality is dangerous to mess with, and since we can't necessarily find the entrance unless we have a mobile task force where only one person of that group disappears, if that were the case, then I think we would be able to possibly start to build a reality anchor near the source and maybe stop the instability allowing such clipping to occur. 087-J, thank you for donating again. Which scientist is assigned to me? Well, checking the database, checking the database, checking the database. It looks like they're redacting your researcher. I hate when they do that. What is the purpose of redacting the researcher on the project? Now I can't ask them simple questions because I can't figure out who they are. So I apologize, 087-J. I do not know who's working on you because sometimes the standards that we use for documentation are silly. Gebucher, thank you for donating again. Not bad. I think your videos are very good. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Much appreciated. We do our best to enlighten people about the Foundation as entertaining a manner as we can. So I'm glad you enjoy it. Big Froga, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a fly milkshake on your way past the commissary. Hey, how can you tell if you're anomalous or not? Been having people think I'm related to them like everyone. There is like 30 people outside my house all smiling. Should I be worried? Well, that does sound a little like there might be some sort of mimetic effect around you. I would suggest staying put, letting security get there. We'll send a team that deals with mimetics and cognitohazards. We'll see if we can get past those people or if they start fighting our security forces to protect you. That would make things more difficult. I hope that's not the case. But we'll need more information. So yes, you should be worried. What's going on in the background here? Yep, good. Shauna, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a burrito on your way past the commissary. Is dying 100 times in one night an anemic ability? Anemic. Well, I'm going to assume you meant anomalous because that's the thing we talk about here. And, you know, you might just be dreaming. If you're just dreaming and dying over and over again, that's not a big deal. That's not a big deal. So if that's the case, yeah, no problem at all. But if you are, in fact, somehow actually dying multiple times in an evening, like you're getting Groundhog Day or something, then yes, you should be more worried about that. 087-J, thank you for donating again. Oh, by the way, I poisoned the coffee, so don't drink it. Well, my coffee's in here just fine, so you have not been anywhere near my coffee. Perfectly fine by me. Marcus, are you allowed to quit your job? So, Foundation staff members, when you join the Foundation, you swear a loyalty oath, you work for us, you're not going anywhere, and quitting is very rare just because we vetted you so much that you knew what you were getting into. But that being said, there's, of course, ways to quit, but when you quit, you have to have your service record put up with the ethics committee, who decides exactly what kind of retirement you're going to have. Because when you join the Foundation, you end up giving up most of your possessions, you cut yourself off from family and friends, you don't exist anymore. And so how do you get back into public? To get back into public, we need to put you back into public. And so we end up giving you a new identity and amnesticizing you so you forget everything you knew from the Foundation, has to be very thorough. And then we set you up with a retirement plan based on how long and how well you worked for us. So level E would be basically you're getting fired and we hate you and we're kicking you to the curb and you're essentially going to be homeless with barely any documents, and that's it. The higher tiers of retirement would be, okay, you served us well and loyally, and so we're going to set you up with a new identity, a new job. This is your nice new house. This is the retirement account you've obviously been building up for several decades now, and we just set you loose. We obviously can't set you back to your old family and friends because then they would be suspicious. So no, you're just a new person living an anonymous life with decent resources, and maybe from there you'll meet someone and have a good life post-Foundation verse. But it's very rare that anyone makes it that far to retirement, to be honest. This is quite a dangerous gig we work in. Shauna, thank you for donating again. No, just one night. I've actually died over 200 times. Heart transplant here. Had to have some fun. No, I meant just one night, but like, okay, so you're saying 200 times with one evening worth of time. If we just say an 8-hour evening of time, that is 800 times 60. 800 times 60. No, that's not what I meant to do. Is 48,000. And so divided by 200, you are dying once every 240 minutes? Am I doing something wrong? It's not 800 times 60. Dr. Sherman, get your mathematics together. I need more coffee. But I'm going to drink water first. I keep being told to hydrate, and so I guess I'm going to. 8 hours times 60. It's not 400. It's 480. And so you are dying once every 2.4 minutes. Well, with a heart transplant, I imagine that's not a good sign that it's going well. So I imagine you need to talk to medical and see if you're okay. Synthetic, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some nuts and bolts on your way past the commissary. Dr. Sherman, it's me again. I came to say I recognize the bodies in the water and felt no temptation to join them. Well, the recognizing and the temptation are separated sometimes. So you have precious little time to amnesticize so you don't recognize them anymore. Get to medical. 087-J, thank you for donating again. Hey, got some food. You want some? You just said you poisoned the coffee. I'm not forgetting. No. Dr. Sherman, are Greek gods SCPs? Well, I know for a fact that we're containing the god Apollo. That is SCP-2248. 2248 is the Greek god Apollo. And SCP Greek gods. Pathonas is in 5167. The imposter is sus. That's another Greek god. Aphrodite is 7454. 4453 is another Greek god. 5286 is another Greek god. Yeah, like I said, someone said, do we believe in God? We're containing so many of them. So obviously, yes. It's just, they're not as big a deal as everyone thinks they are in the public realm. They're just gods, guys. I mean, come on, seriously. Biga Froga, thank you for your second donation. Yeah, like, what does security look like? More people showed up, but they're all wearing tactical gear. Also, some robe dudes showed up, all now smiling and building what seems like a Victorian portal. What is a Victorian portal? That's a strange combination of adjective and noun. Is that just a door that they're being fancy about? Yeah, I get nothing about a Victorian portal when I look at the database. You're confusing me a little bit, but it sounds like you're saying the tack gear, that would be security, and the robe dudes are all smiling and building the portal. I think you're in a sticky situation. You might need to sneak out the back and make sure you cover up in a blanket. That way they don't see you going. 087-J, thank you for donating again. They're the original here. I don't know what that means. I apologize for my misunderstanding. That is not enough detail for me to respond. Sergeant Salamander, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a tiny little baby frog on your way past the commissary. What are the qualifications for an anomalous entity, be they an SCP or not, to work for the Foundation as a researcher and/or mobile task force? Well, anomalous entities joining the ranks of Foundation staff is not common, because most of the time we would think that the anomaly is just trying to escape, and so we wouldn't want that. But the goal would be that we'd need them to be on very high-grade good behavior for a long time. They would need to prove loyalty to the Foundation. They would need to think. Where's my brain at? It's in here somewhere. They would need to be contained with no incidents, loyalty to the Foundation. We have to be able to prove within a shadow of the doubt that they actually adhere to our philosophy. So it's not just loyalty to the Foundation, but it's that they actually want to help us contain things. Because if they're just in it for like the love of violence, that's not going to work, because then they might go rogue on us. So we can't do it that way. Oh my, gotta catch up real quick. Shauna, thank you for donating again. No, not an ability, a heart attack, but with more pow. Shauna, I'm going to need you to type a little more clearly. I'm not exactly understanding the context of your multiple deaths. Like, I didn't say you had an ability to survive heart attacks or anything like that. Like, if you're having multiple heart attacks and dying and coming back, that's bad. If you're almost dying, that's still bad. You should still go to medical no matter what. Sounds like a bad situation to be in. The director, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Go ahead and grab yourself some leafy greens on your way past the commissary, and I guess you retracted your message, so I'll move on. 087-J. 087-1 is here. Well, I'm sure you two have a lot to blink about, since you don't have mouths. So enjoy your Morse code conversation in blinks. Yellow, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Go grab yourself an assortment of yellow Skittles and Starbursts on your way past the commissary. Hey, Dr. Sherman, just a hypothetical, but what if a color gains sentience and learn how to use the internet? Is there a containment procedure for that? We have plenty of containment procedures for living concepts, and so the artificial intelligence constructs will take down your internet account soon so you can stop spreading knowledge of yourself to the people. And then we will put you in a proper conceptual box with which we can run testing. Clone, thank you for donating again. Although the error with the chat is stopping you from seeing your message. Give me one moment. Doomslayer versus Scarlet King, who do you think wins? I just answered this in a short a couple of days ago, maybe a week ago. But my conclusion is, I mean, if you believe the fanboys, then probably Doom Guy, because, oh, the angrier he gets bigger and bigger and godlier, and he eats gods for breakfast. I don't know. Something about the Doom fandom tells me that they're overselling the Doom Guy's feats. I've done a lot of research into the Doom Guy's feats, and it doesn't seem as solid as they're making it sound. I've got this sense that they might just be obnoxious fanboys who are too into power scaling and want their action figure to win against other action figures. Of course, don't tell them that, because then I'll get a horde of angry comments that I actually don't care about, and ha 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 ha. So I'm going to say this time I'm going to change my mind. I think the Scarlet King wins it. I don't think Doom Guy has the chops. Going down in round 3. Synthetic Lol, thank you for donating again. Dr. Sherman, I made it to medical, but there's a problem. I turned into a horse. There's a horse loose in the hospital. That's not good. Well, since you are cognitively well enough to chat on a live stream, I also hope you are cognitively well enough to stay put. Just wait it out. Please do not go full horse in a house hospital for us. Silent Follower, thank you for donating again. Fun question. If I were an anomaly, what abilities do you think I have? Well, based on your username of silence and your colorful color wheel of a profile picture, just based on that alone, I'm going to make the assumption that you are some kind of omnidimensional entity that is a floating cloud of colors. Think about the early episodes of Rick and Morty. I think it was voiced by Jermaine Clement. I don't remember exactly. But I do hope that based on your past chat history, I don't think you're going to try to destroy the universe. So a better version. Chasing Dreams, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a... Let's say you can grab yourself a Royal Crown Cola on your way past the commissary. A doctor. Since I'm an SCP and knowing the Foundation, can I become a Doctor SCP? That's my dream to help the Foundation. Well, as I was just telling a previous chatter, who was that earlier? As I was telling Sergeant Salamander earlier, The big deal would be loyalty to the foundation, loyalty to our mission, and good behavior. So we will put an evaluation in on your past behaviors in containment, and we will see what happens. 087-J, thank you for donating again. I have seen Doomslayer kill Satan. Yeah, but Satan's just a fallen angel. Satan is not that cool in the Godverse of things that we contain here at the Foundation. A single fallen angel, not a big deal. So we wouldn't put a fallen angel up against the Scarlet King and think that the fallen angel would win. So that's not evidence of anything. Axe, thank you for your incredibly generous donation to today's cause. I want you to go grab an entire handcrafted meal from SCP-5031, after which you are allowed to take a 30-minute lunch break in which you listen to 5031's new composition. That is your reward for such a generous donation. Have fun on your break, but first I'll answer your question. Dr. Renogaki here. Someone has given 999 a big red. Send help. Oh, man. Chewing gum takes so long to digest in the slime, and so it's just going to be a repeated sugar rush until that's gone. That's frustrating. All right, we'll make it to the commissary for your break, and we'll handle the rest. Every message I've sent to you since I've gotten here, I've been sending to someone else. Oh, no. Oh, no, Desk. I'm so sorry for that, and whoever you were sending people things. Please tell Shauna Grow to message me in chat with their question, and the rest were jokes and references. Okay. So I hope whoever you texted that to by accident enjoyed them. And Shauna, please tag Desk of Alto Clef, with clarifications on your questions in your chats, and Desk will try to clarify that with me since I can't see your stuff flying by the chat in regular. Desk will help you with that like the hero he is. The scatterbrained, lovely hero he is. And while he gathers that intelligence, Chefdom, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab a bison burger on your way past the commissary. Hey, Dr. Sherman, just found the is director's key card in my lab coat pocket. What should I do about this? Turn it into lost and found. Don't do anything untoward with a key card that isn't yours. Follow protocol. Come on now. Rook, Dr. Sherman, I'm hungry. What should I eat? Well, I mean, head over to the commissary, grab anything you want, man. The commissary's loaded with all the goodies. Why not? Thank you for donating again. Help, I have fallen in love with Mallow. Okay. Preview of something that's been annoying me lately. Hey, Bands, thank you for subscribing to Site42. Welcome to staff. If you're on the Site42 Twitter, you'll see recently that I shared a screenshot of people being ridiculous about the SCP fandom. Everyone on Twitter has bad takes about the Foundation because they actually don't read the wiki. They just spout off on whatever meme they've seen and consider that to be the whole community. And so we're constantly being name-called that all of our SCPs are fetish material or all of our SCPs are power scaler bait, which is clearly not true. Clearly not true. But because these people don't read the website, they don't know. And so I swear to you, if there weren't 9,000 of them, I would literally, one by one, run down the entire list and mark them as fetish material, power scaling, or not, and see how many are actually that. Because I bet it's not actually that many. I mean, I've read over 500 to 1,000 of them, and it's not that many of the ones I've seen. Because here's the problem. There are 3 ideas I want to do for the whole wiki. I want to do... No, I gotta keep these secret. I gotta keep these secrets so you're surprised. Secrets. Either way, we do not fraternize with the anomalies. Stop it. Go get therapy. Silent follower, thank you for donating again. My profile pic is a color wheel of cats. Oh, I can see their little eyeballs now. It's such a small profile picture on screen, but that's pretty cool. All right. Oh, where was that picture? Where was that question I just saw? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Well, somebody asked if Freddy Fazbear is an SCP. I can't see your name anymore. The chat skipped on it. But no, Freddy Fazbear and the whole Fazbear line of game universes are not SCPs because they're not from the SCP Wiki database, but they are anomalous. And I do have at least one video on the channel. FNAF is not an SCP, but if it were, how would the Foundation contain it? And I actually did two videos because I did FNAF 1 and FNAF 2. And so you can see what I have to say about that if they were SCPs. Although those videos will probably be updated as I revive the series because I'd like to update the format on those and make them better. Artemis! Oh, good to see you in the chat. Thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself an order of chili fries on your way past the commissary. Are there any SCPs that are a pair? Are there any SCPs that are a pair? Let me see. In the database, pair. SCP-6487 is a sapient pair approximately 1 meter tall. A 1 meter tall pair that is sapient. Well, also it seems to be making DreamWorks face in this picture, which is horrifying. Why? Why do they have an overpair council? Why do they have overseers that are pairs? This is a weird one. You go enjoy 6847 if you're wanting SC pairs. 087-J, thank you for donating again. There's a sentient rat in here. Well, maybe it can interpret your Morse code eye blinking with the other version of you, and you guys can have a nice conversation. Axe, thank you for donating again. Dr. Sherman, it's worse than gum. It is a very sugary soda. Oh, sweet Jesus, I thought it was the gum. Okay, well, honestly, soda versus gum. I mean, you don't have to reach out and you don't have to reach in to get soda. It will just dissolve, but that is a higher concentration of sugar. So hit the deck. You hit the deck, you get under a table, you stay there until things quiet down. Ooh, you're playing a dangerous game there. Clone, thank you for donating again. As a new researcher to the site, what SCPs would you recommend looking into as someone entering the Foundation for the first time? Ooh, okay. So what you want to do as you peruse the SCP database for the first time is you want to look at the sidebar on the left, and you want to go to where it says Discovery, Curated Lists. The curated lists are a list of recommended articles from different authors on the website. And so you can see there's horror lists, there's sci-fi lists, there's comedy lists, religion, myths, legends, folklore list, flash fiction throwbacks, characters, miscellaneous. You can find anything you might be looking for. And then you can jump into other kinds of curated lists. And you can have just a whole rundown of different ways to explore the database. So start with the curated list if you're new to the wiki database. It's a great way to start. Chasing Dreams, thank you for donating again. By the way, SCP-106 has dual knives now. Please help. Radical Larry hasn't been known to use knives. Oh, maybe it's still traumatized after encountering that thing. That would make sense. Although, where did it get knives? Did it just go to the commissary and pick up knives for some reason? Strange. Monitor the behavior as you activate the femur breaker and bring it back to its cell. See what happens. Orthair. Hey, when are we getting the next shipment of cream soda? Been a bit, and I'm getting tired of beer. Wow. I never thought I would hear a mobile task force member getting tired of getting drunk. Y'all jocks are always about that chug-chug life. But, listen, I know after the incident last week that cream soda supplies have been low, but I've got a couple secret cans stowed away. You just got to tell the head cashier over at the commissary that Dr. Sherman said to have an A&W day. They'll know what you mean, because it's very clear what that means. 087-J, thank you for donating again. It started blinking back. Well, good. I hope you guys have a stimulating conversation. Get this chat back to where it should be. Big Froga, thank you for donating again. Yo, so a guy in a fancy outfit and mask stepped out of the Victorian portal. He's pointing at me directly and whispering in my ear. I'm holding a mask now. I don't know where I got it. I'm not your brother. It looks like you are in the throes of a dangerous situation. I warned you to get out of there. It seems you haven't. And so I would imagine... I mean, you say he's pointing directly at you and whispering in your ear. And so, you know, pointing directly at somebody and whispering in their ear are two very different actions and pretty hard to do at the same time. I mean, it's not really the same if you're like in somebody's ear and pointing at them. That's a weird way to do that. And so I'm very confused about your situation, but I suggest one more time, get out of there. Shauna, thank you for donating again. I hope you're getting to Desk, because Desk is trying to help you explain what's going on, because heart transplant 20-year-old, but to get I died 100 times. So what I'm getting here is that to get a heart transplant at age 20, you died 100 times. I mean, that's not how I've known hospitals to work and such. So either way, if you got the heart transplant, then I hope you're okay. It is important for all Site 42 staff to be well. And so otherwise we can't work very well. So I hope that whatever the situation is, you're working it out. Artemis, thank you for donating again. What is Kane's greatest desire as shown by the camera that shows your greatest desire? Well, all I can do is see if we have a picture in the database. SCP, desire camera. While I am speaking about the desire camera, by the way, you all, if you don't know about it, should go check out the SCP-978 short film on the Site 42 channel. It's called Desire Camera, and it is made by our buddies at Sozo Bear Films. S-O-Z-O Bear Films. They make awesome science fiction TikToks, and they worked on the Desire Camera film, and we released it so more people would see it. And then they're working on other science fiction stuff that's pretty cool, so you might enjoy it. But check out the Desire Camera film, and if you like it, follow Sozo Bear Films as well. Been a while since I heard of that one. So that being said, Desire Camera, we have a testing log. And 073. Eating, photographed activity, eating in the Site 17 cafeteria. Photo result, tending to an assorted range of plants on a small farm. In the background, various domesticated animals are wandering around. Okay, turns out 073's desire was to tend a farm. Well, that's nice for that. Site 2, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself I'm thinking a meatloaf on your way past the commissary. Hi, Dr. Sherman. Dr. Len from Site 2 here. Someone shipped 999 to us again. Should it be shipped back? Well, if that disaster we heard about with the big red soda is happening at your site, then I'm honestly relieved for our team to not have to deal with it. So once 999 calms down, then you can send it back. 087-J, thank you for donating again. It wants to overthrow the government. Well, it is just a rat. A sentient rat, but just a rat. I'm not worried about that rat overthrowing the government particularly. Although, I mean, the current president of America is stupid enough to get ratatouille'd by a sentient rat. And so, it's not possible. Oh. Well, I really hope that rat does not have nefarious purposes then. Ugh. Where were we? Dr. Sherman, are you absolutely certain the Foundation allows personnel to accept donations from other researchers? I was under the impression that the Ethics Committee frowns upon supplemental funding. Oh no, you've got that entirely backwards. We depend on supplemental funding because the overseers are capricious and sometimes just cut your funding for no reason, or no reason they'll tell you about. And so, I'm sitting here doing my best, trying to keep this site afloat, and the O5s cut our funding, and then Dr. Moon Moon leaves with 25% of our anomalies, meaning 25% more of our funding is out the window. So no, it is fine if other sites help out. It's good, actually, because we all have to work together to keep securing, containing, and protecting, despite the trials that we go through. I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at the circumstances. Interloper, thank you for donating again. Or is this your first donation of today's stream? I don't remember if I've seen your name today. Let me be specific just in case. It is your first donation to today's stream. Okay. So make sure to grab yourself a pack of Tapatio Doritos, the best flavor of Doritos, on your way past the commissary. Love that hot chip. Okay, how's it going? What will be the best way for a dangerous anomaly to be introduced to the Foundation with the best light? Well, I would suggest, if you want to, you would need the anomaly to disarm itself, as in lay down its arms, not activate its anomaly, not attack our troops. That would be a good way to start. It needs to act peaceably. It needs to be disciplined and well behaved in interviews, on the entrance interview, and that might get it a less high rating if it's cooperative. Of course, we'll still be watching it to make sure it is not a trick to get special privileges and then breach containment or do some sneaky things. What have I got here? Desk points out that the Ethics Committee is fine with what we're doing funding-wise because Dr. Sumerian is the head of ethics, and Dr. Sumerian is our friend. We at Site 42 have what you call privilege and favoritism and or nepotism. You are correctamundo. Director, thank you for donating again. Could I become leader of the Serpent Hand? And what benefits other than having all knowledge would have? Also, what requirements would I need? Unfortunately for you, I am not familiar with the hierarchy of the Serpent's Hand. Aren't they run by a giant spider? Isn't the head of the Serpent's Hand a giant frickin' spider? Clef, is that correct? Who leads the Serpent's Hand? One prominent member of the Hand, often mistakenly theorized to be its leader, is an enigmatic female figure known as LS. possibly otherwise known as Allison Chow, the daughter of Dr. Gears. I think I remember in some universes Allison Chow is the head of the hand, but I'm not exactly sure. Yep, Clef is on key with that as well. And getting myself finally caught up. 087-J, thank you for donating again. It has a plan that just might work. Well, can't be worse than what we've got going on right now. So, honestly, I wish that rat well. Oh, I'm not caught up now. VW, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a pint on your way past the commissary. Guard here, have we tried using 999 or 096? We have. 999 can't pacify it if it's in a rage state, but it can tickle it, and it doesn't have eyes, so it can't see 096's face. But there's just not much use in cross-testing them, so it's not really efficient as a use of resources. Random fandom, can that one SCP make the tree scream? Have we tested that? It's still on the list of things to test. I will let you guys know once we get down through the testing log if we get to that. 087-J, thank you for donating again. The rat did it? Already? I mean, it was here at the site. How did it even get to? How did it even get to the capital? Now I think you're just, now I think you are exaggerating. Or I think you're spinning a yarn. You're giving me false hope that things might get better. Dr. Sherman, if the Death Note existed, how would the Foundation go about studying it and containing it based off its abilities? So there's a couple ways this can go down. You know, if people started dying of mysterious cause around the world, we would have to start investigating it. Obviously, we wouldn't notice if it was heart attacks, but enough spontaneous heart attacks, I guess. It would be similar to how the police found out in Death Note, only it would have to be a little quicker because we're smarter than the police are. And then, although they do have L, and L is quite the detective, but we have all sorts of anomalies and lore and stuff like that. We must be able to go hunting and find things like the Shinigami. And that would make it easier to hunt down and contain whatever is that. Oh my. Looking at the time, by the way, we are about 20 minutes to end of stream, everyone. 20 minutes. Keep tabs on that. So yes, when it comes to the Death Note, we are looking at, I mean, it's going to go very similar to how it went in Universe, just with a more competent overall staff, maybe without L, but with the anomalies we have in containment that we could use to figure out what's going on, it would not be nearly as difficult as you would think. I'm not worried about finding a couple of little notebooks and some demons that are attached to them. All right, VW, thank you for donating again. What SCPs have 9x99 been able to pacify? I mean, a lot of them. It's not... Most SCPs don't go into a crazy, crazy rage state. Most of them don't want to fight 999 either, because 999 is just a happy little guy. It's not like people are trying to fight a big slime ball that's not trying to hurt them. We don't really put together tests to make 999 pacify contain escaped anomalies, because we don't want to risk it in case it's got certain qualities in certain ideals in a certain parentage that might be advantageous if we make sure not to hurt it. Dr. Sherman, would the Foundation be able to contain Am from I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream? So here's the problem. If you look at the lore of I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, the real situation is we would accidentally create Am. I'm just saying. That evil AI taking over the world, that's probably our fault. And so that is an XK end of the world scenario waiting to happen. That's how I see that going. Kaito, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some ghoul bits on your way past the commissary. Hello, if I happen to be an escaped anomaly and ate or mind-controlled an entire branch of the SCP staff, hypothetically, what would be punishment? Well, if you are capable of eating and or mind-controlling an entire branch of SCP staff, immediate decommissioning. So I hope you like this mortal coil while you had it, because you are going to shuffle off it very soon. Clef, order the right goons to handle that. Clef has also pointed out to me that for a situation that's very similar to AM, you could look at SCP-001, A Good Boy, which is about a computer program that acts like a puppy until it doesn't. And so SCP-001, A Good Boy, not a terribly unsimilar concept at the start there. Oliver Raw, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure you have 4 dozen eggs this morning to help you get large over at the commissary. Hello. Hello. SCP-087-J, thank you for donating again. I don't know of how it was that fast, but watch the news. Well, after I leave the stream in about 17 minutes, I will check out the news and see what's changed. Did you know that SCP-999 is considered a destroyer of all worlds? I've never heard of such a thing. In fact, I've heard more often that it will end up being a protector in the distant future. But I'm going to need your source for that claim, Omega Wolf 22. What is the current status of Able? Able is currently regenerating in its box post another containment breach scenario. So, resting. Oh, popped up in my face. Hello, the computer guy. Thank you for what I believe is your first donation to today's stream. Yes, indeed. And as well, Amber, good to see you in the chat. I hope work's going well. Hi, computer guy. Go get yourself some birdseed on your way past the commissary. Hi, I'm the guy that definitely doesn't have large bird wings. I know you said agents not coming were my birthday present, but I thought they would have come by now. Must not be that efficient. Do you know how many things we're containing? If you're not causing problems, you're just lower down on the roster. They'll get there. They'll get there. Kaido, thank you for donating again. Hypothetically, if I brought them all back to life with no memory of dying, but now they can see in the future, would that mean I'm now innocent? Obviously not. Think before you ask. Now you just have no memory of dying zombies that can tell the future. That is insane and a problem for secrecy. So no, you're still going down. Could you beat the serpent hand? Well, director, we haven't yet. They're still out there, slithering about. But we'll get them. And we'll get that library of infinite knowledge soon enough. Narinjas, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as a delightful Hungry Hippo, getting an extra life. Make sure to grab yourself some white pellets on your way past the commissary. Theoretically, could there be an SCP that has not been contained by the Foundation, that has the only anomalous ability of not being able to be contained by the Foundation, so we would not know? Yes. I mean, if it were, we would literally have no way to know about it because its anomalous ability is not being contained by us somehow. But that is too specific an anomalous ability that I don't believe exists. I think that maybe there's an anomalous ability where you can't be contained at all, but then we would know about it. Or if we're not allowed to know about it, well, that's anti-memetics. But not a lot of things target the Foundation specifically with their anomalies. I mean, some do. Some are literally like curses on us, basically. So it's not impossible, it's just not likely. Usually there's another catch or something. Clef is currently screaming, I know that one, hold on. So maybe there's more to it that Clef will let me know soon. 1504, you say? Joe Schmo, an unremarkable man who is unable to be harmed. Interview log, break-in. Isn't that one more or less anti-memetic? Kind of like an SEP, not SCP, SEP, somebody else's problem field. Is that what we're so dealing with here? I'm not going to tell you, you'll just ignore me. Okay, so yeah, it's basically an anti-memetic person. So yeah, I guess that's the kind of person I'm talking about. Is like, yeah, that's an SCP that we can't contain it because we ignore it on principle. Weird. Tibby, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a chocolate chip cookie on your way past the commissary. Uh, 11 minutes left in stream, people. 11 minutes left. Are the things in Gravity Falls SCPs? Well, Christopher, they are anomalous, but because they're not contained on the SCP database, they are not technically SCPs. Now, if the Foundation existed in the Gravity Falls universe, I imagine we would be doing things like locking down the town, investigating the oddities, maybe teaming up with the Pines family and the Mystery Shack crew because they seem to be in the know of what's going on, trying to stop the XK End of the World event that is Weird Mageddon, all that kind of stuff. Luna asking, why the hell is Sans the Skeleton here? Well, I mean, I'd rather Sans the Skeleton be contained by the Foundation than anywhere else, especially if it's doing little scientific work for us. Rook, hey, Dr. Sherman, do you know how to play an instrument? Sorry for yelling. I do not know how to play an instrument. Back in school, I had made the decision I wanted to be in band. I wanted to play trumpet and some other instruments, but I forgot my permission slip to join band on elective choosing day and got shuffled into choir because they had openings. And so you could say my voice is my instrument. But I took 7 years of choir. I went to karaoke bars weekly for years and years as a hobby. And I was a wedding singer for a couple of years as a job. So I can sing well if you count that as an instrument. I've also done a lot of musical theater. Rosie, thank you for donating again to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some more Coca-Cola on your way past the commissary. Hello again, Doctor. I would say despite newly found Foundation anomalous factors manifesting, I still wish to work with the organization. Other than that, could you state a new task for me? I need more work. Well, I mean, the first thing you got to do if you're ending up with more anomalous facets of your personage, you need to stop by medical and get tested first and foremost. So do that. And after you do that, then we can talk about assignments, but you really need to get checked out first. Desk claims that the real Hawaiian shirt-wearing Foundation doctors can play ukulele. Dr. Sherman is a pretender. Well, obviously, right now I'm even pretending to wear a Hawaiian shirt. It's a casual Wednesday here at Site 42. Site 2, thank you for donating again. Dr. Sherman, 999, somehow absorbed the endless bouncy ball and is causing chaos in Site redacted. He just wrecked the site's control system. Wish us luck here. I told you to get in the box. Why are you making this so difficult? The Super Bowl. You know, if the Super Bowl is in the slime, that means it's going to slow down and stop bouncing. It doesn't mean that 999 is going to bounce all over the place. That's not how 999's big 2 meter by 1 meter self happens. So that ball is just supposed to bounce outside of 999. You guys got some weird stuff going on over there, and I want no part of it. Narinjas, thank you for donating again. Is Ford Pines the founder of their in-universe SCP? I doubt it. I doubt that Ford would be willing to organize that big of a group. Ford is more of a lone scientist, person of interest type, running off just with Stanford and Stanley together in their boat, doing anomaly things. I do not believe they would form an organization bigger than the Mystery Shack crew. In fact, they downsized from the Mystery Shack crew to a 2-person organization. So I don't see them starting the Foundation. If anything, the Society of the Blind Eye is more Foundation adjacent because they at least erase people's memories to make sure everyone can live normal lives. Honestly, not as bad as anyone would have thought. Me and Mai love the videos. Glad to hear it. Thank you very much for enjoying our videos. Kaido, thank you for donating again. Hypothetically, I have an anomaly that makes nothing able to remember me or my actions if I say hypothetically, so you'll forget hypothetically. It's a good thing our mimetic filters on this stream are strong enough to counter such things. Ya big dork. And so, bye-bye. Do you have a favorite group of interest? Mine is Ambrose Restaurants. Well, Tara the Gender Bender, I do... Let me look at it again. I haven't considered a group of interest to be a favorite in a while. You know, they all kind of annoy me since they're not doing the proper containment procedures. But if I had to pick a favorite group of interests out of these... If I'm going to pick favorites here, then I'm going to go with Herman Fuller Circus of the Disquieting at the top. I love circuses. What can I say? And then Dr. Wondertainment. Anomalous toys are a blast, as long as they're not actually a blast that like harms you. Parawatch I enjoy for the creepypasta creepypasta accent to it, so I find that interesting. Wilson's Wildlife Solutions, very wholesome. Enjoy them a lot. And of course, the Serpent's Hand. I mean, who doesn't want an infinite library of knowledge and the ability to use magic? I'll find my way back into that library eventually. You snakes can't keep me out forever. And the Shark Punching Center. Just always so much fun. Just always so much fun to watch. Back to the chat. We are down to the last 4 minutes, and the donations are flying in. Let me try and get these before I run out of time. Joseph, thank you for your first donation of today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself an order of corn dogs on your way past the commissary. How do you tell if you're an SCP? My girlfriend and I can't tell if she is one or not. I mean, it's pretty obvious if they have some sort of anomalous ability or quality that makes them not an ordinary human being. Are they floating where they're defying gravity? Are they hanging off the walls like Spider-Man? Are they shooting fire out of their nostrils for some reason? If there's an anomaly, then they're going to be contained. So just figure it out. It's pretty easy to tell. Narinjas, thank you for donating again. Would Bill Cipher taking over his bro give motive? If Bill Cipher took over his brother, he might, no. He would absolutely just go solo. He would not start an organization. You can tell he is an antisocial type very clearly. And so I do not believe he would start an organization. I believe he would just hunt him with his shooty gun and all that different kind of tech that he has built himself. Rudy Ramos, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a smoothie on your way past the commissary. And you have a question, but you should have asked it. We're in the last minutes of the stream. I don't know if I'm ever going to see your name in chat again because there's 200 people here. I'm looking for you in the thing, but you should have asked your question in the donation, my friend. This was a poor choice. Desk, if you see it, let me know. Otherwise, I'm starting the wrap-up of the stream, and Desk will interrupt me if he finds it. There we go. Thank you, Desk. I think 173 attacks intelligent life like humans. So what if a D-class has a rare case of dumber than a brick? Will 173 kill a D-class? So humans who are dumber than a brick still count as sapient/sentient, and they will still get snapped. That's a good question to be asking in case we need to send a dumbass in to stop something. Me and Mai, when do you stream? At random times. Right now, we are, I believe today is day 19 or 20 for streaming daily. I'm trying to do at least 1 hour, maybe 45 minutes to an hour a day. Often I can do 2 or 3 hours depending on the day, but what we're doing is we're building up endurance for streaming. Ever since we hit 1 million subs here on YouTube, I realize I have so much content I want to make, but I have to write all the scripts, I have to do production, and I can only put out so much work that way. It's a very slow process. So instead, if I go live a little bit each day, I can talk to you guys head on, the 1 million of you subscribers there are, and we can chat it out, ask questions, and then we will, from there, I'll also get ideas from you guys for videos. So yes, as Sheeny has pointed out, usually somewhere between 2 and 5 p.m. Pacific time, or 5 to 8 p.m. Eastern time, both United States time zones, are the usual time I'm able to come on and stream. But sometimes it's earlier, sometimes it's later. Make sure you hit the bell, because that's the only way to make sure to know when we're going to stream. So with that, thank you all for a wonderful stream today. I hope you guys have gotten great questions. I know I have had a good time talking with you guys today. Yes, Kill Switch Engage. We talked about the Crawford films earlier. The new Crawford film just dropped 2 days ago on, what was it? I saw 035 in the thumbnail. SCP The Corpse. I haven't seen it yet, so I can't recommend it, but if you want to check it out first, you can go. And so with that, I got to get off and get the rest of my work done for the day. So be safe, be well, secure, contain, protect. No, I haven't said my favorite SCP yet, so I'm all verklempt. I'm out of order. My favorite SCPs. I always sign off with my favorite SCPs, and it's time for you guys to know them. Now, I'm not going to say my favorite SCPs are the ones that I wrote, because that would be cheating. They're my children. Of course, I love them. Instead, you should go read my SCPs on the SCP Wiki. My author page is The Sherm's author page and Site42 Hub on the Wiki, and you can read all the SCPs I wrote. That's pretty cool. And while you're passing by, maybe become a patron or a channel member. Help support Site42, where I can have more time to write scripts, to write SCPs, to bring you interesting video concepts based on the Foundation. And so, thank you for your support in advance. Now, my favorite SCPs in no particular order, which Desk is sharing in the chat right now so you can copy and paste it, is 3999, 3043, 008-J, Spooky-J, 5031, 5175, 5320, with a huge content warning, 8980. Be careful of that one. Rudy, thank you for donating one more time. Much appreciated. And CVGM, thank you for subscribing. So one more time through the favorites, it's 3999, 3043, 008-J, Spooky-J, 5031, 5175, 5320, and big content warning for 8980. Those have been my favorite SCPs. You have been my favorite Site 42 staff. Thank you for stopping into office hours today. I hope we all feel very educated. Be safe, be well, secure, contain, protect, and I'll see you in the next video. Well, it could have been, should have been worse than you would ever know. Oh, the dashboard melted, but we still had the radio. Oh, it should have been, could have been worse than you would ever know. Well, you told me about nowhere. Well, it sounds like some place I'd like to go. Whoa, whoa. Oh, it could have been, should have been worse than you would ever know. Well, the windshield, it was broken, but I love the fresh air, you know. The dashboard melted, but we still had the rain. Well, it could have been, it should have been worse than you would ever know. Well, dashboard melted, but we still had the rain. Oh, we talked about nothing, which was more than I wanted you to know. Oh, here we go. Bum bottom bottom, bum bottom bottom.